Thanks, Don. And I also want to thank our friends from Brand Packaging for giving us a little preview of what's going to be coming forward. So those packages really are those packages are a testament to the fact that color, when it's well executed, helps strategy not just to be seen, but to be felt and heard. But even the best strategy is only measured in its execution when it really gets down to it. And the right color on the right package, executed well, the results follow, as they have for these supporters of breast cancer research. To date, Yoplay's parent company, General Mills, and its foundation, they've donated more than $18 million to breast cancer research over the last 9 years. And in a normal month, when you look at Campbell's, and what they're selling to Kroger's, they sell about 3.5 million cans of these two soups. But with the pink ribbon package, sales have more than doubled will more than double to about 7 million cans in that same time period. So the real question here is, from where Sun sits, is why should you care about inks and pigments? And what do they really have to do with strategy? Can't you just leave it to the techies? Well, no, you can't leave those kinds of decisions to the techies, because really, when you think about it, those decisions drive dimensions of strategies that you can't afford to ignore. Things like security, sustainability, and speed to market. And what we want to do today is really take a deeper look at how those dimensions really play out as it relates to strategy. Security is strategy. When in today's world, security must be part of what your brand strategy really is. Why? Because, when you think about it, security protects your consumers, your brand, and your company. And here's just one of the reasons why everyone who touches your brand needs to be aware or have awareness. Counterfeiting is just all around us. These are just a few examples of the counterfeit items that we've seen. And if you look at some of the recent public examples of counterfeit products we've seen, they've actually posed a real threat to the global health and safety of consumers. Quite frankly, counterfeiting is a growth business. In 1982, it was about $5.5 billion. In the year 2006, that number grew to $650 billion. And why do people counterfeit? It's all about following the money, and there's a lot of money. But there is an antidote to counterfeiting, and it's authentication. So we're going to ask another question. We're going to take another poll. And what the question is this time is, how confident are you that your organization is really protected against counterfeiting? Again, it goes from 1 to 5, 1 being completely confident and 5 being not confident at all. We'll give you a few minutes, and then what we'll do is we'll tabulate and share the results with you later. In the meantime, why don't we talk about sort of 5 tools we use to ensure security and authenticity. They are, first, you have to determine if you have vulnerability. So it's the assessment, right? And then after you've determined whether you've got vulnerability, you need to understand what impact that vulnerability may have on your brand. And then you have to determine how you want to remove that vulnerability and what level of security you want to put in place. There is covert security. This is where you're using high-tech reading systems and ink technologies to authenticate your package. In this case, you're protecting your product and only you know you're doing it. Another approach is semi-covert, where you're using ink technologies such as UV, fluorescent, and thermochromatic inks. This solution is often very effective and applicable. Or the last layer is really that of sort of overt security option, which allows for sort of this visible verification that this is in fact the authentic product in the package. But it's difficult for anyone else to replicate. Things like the color shifting of the $20 bill you see here. And finally, you can go with something like track and trace. It's where high-speed inkjet technology is used to apply invisible codes to your product. It's an effective way to authenticate your package, and it's often used when products are being imported into and exported from a given country.